Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and the Adobe tire fire continues. Earlier this week, Adobe got caught with updated new terms of service that aren't exactly artist-friendly, and the community didn't really like it too much. I covered this mostly yesterday in my video, Did Adobe Just Bleep Up? And on top of that, Louis Rossman covered it in a much less, let's say, nuanced manner, much more anti-Adobe manner, in Adobe Roofies All of Their Customer. Both are very interesting read. You also get Hogue Law did some coverage of this from a legal perspective, but I think in this case, I love Hogue Law. This time, I think he kind of missed exactly why artists are apprehensive and scared here. But if you want to look at like the legal side of things and the terms and details of it, this is an interesting video to check out as well. But this is, yeah, it's the newest Unity tire fire, but this time it's Adobe instead. So it all kind of boiled down to, I'm not going to go through it all over again. I'm going to kind of show you the two key causes that caused most people to get up in arms. The first one is this change right here. Now, this actually has been in there for quite a while. So what people have discovered is their terms of service have always sucked, but they've gotten even worse lately. And the reason why this was all kicked off is a couple days ago, they started sending out a requirement that people approve to these new terms of service. Then people became aware of them, started reading them, and went, whoa, what? So the first one here is access to your content. We may access, view, or listen to your content defined in section 4.1 through both automated and manual methods, but only in limited ways and only as permitted by law. For example, in order to provide the services and software, we may need to access, view, or listen to your content to respond to feedback or support requests, detect, prevent, or otherwise address fraud, security, legal, or technical issues, and enforce the terms as set forth in section 4.1 below. And then it gets, our automated systems may analyze your content and Creative Cloud customer fonts using techniques such as machine learning in order to improve our services and software. So yes, they're actually granting, you're granting them a right to train AI. You could definitely view it as you're, improving their software is generating an AI model. That is what they are actually asking for in the terms of service. And that is literally what you would do. If you agree to this, they can get away with it. So they might say or state that, oh no, that's not what we were going to do. Well, there is what you're agreeing to and what they are saying. And they could quite easily add a line into that terms of service. We will not use your cloud data to train AI models. Very simple statement to add. It's not there. And until it's there, comes down to, do you trust them? The other part that really people's attention was drawn to is this one, 4.2, license to your content. Solely for the purposes of operating or improving the services and software, you grant us a non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free, sub-licensable license to use, reproduce, publicly display, distribute, modify, create derivative works based on publicly perform and translate the content. For example, we may sub-license our right to the content to our service providers or to other users to allow services and software to operate as intended, such as enabling you to share photos with others. So there is a purpose behind this, but what you're doing is granting them a perpetual license to your stuff. They can sub-license out and do whatever the hell they want with. No, they're not going to own your content, but they're going to own a license to it, and you have to agree to that. That is batshit. So that one is a pretty crazy thing, and I get that. So basically, they released this firefighting document, so trying to make everybody feel bad about, or better about things. Now, I would say that the way that you make people feel better about things is you update your terms of service so that they're not so overreaching and vague. But instead, what they went with is, trust us, bro. But the kicker here is they actually highlight what they changed in their terms of service. And I don't actually think when the terms of service became awful matters. I think it's the fact that everyone now knows that the terms of service were awful. But they did little things like switch from will access, so we will access blah, 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 to may. So they just kind of a little bit more power there. Both through automated and manual methods was added there as well. In order to was added a couple of times. And then down here, including manual review, and they changed a word I could not use on YouTube because of that particular algorithm looking at me. But the changes actually weren't that massive. I think it was more in fact that they actually drew people to what the text was. The text of those two lines I just sent you, the 2.2 and 4.2 clauses, I believe they were already existing. So they actually didn't make massive changes here. They just made changes which drew people's attention to just how awful the terms of service actually were. So we got a breakdown of when Adobe applications and services may access content. So access is needed for Adobe applications and services to perform the functions they are designed and used for, such as opening and editing files for users or creating thumbnails or previews for sharing. Access is needed to deliver some of the most innovative cloud features, such as Photoshop neural filters, liquid mode, or remove background. It's amazing how so many other sites and services could do that without this terms of service as well, but there we go. And for content processed or stored on Adobe servers, Adobe may use technologies and other processes, including including escalation for manual human review to screen for certain types of illegal activity, which I cannot say, or other abusive content or behavior, for example, patterns of activity that indicate spam or phishing. Now, there is a massive hole here. Or other abusive content or behavior. Who defines what's abusive? Is a political meme abusive? Is it something that the political regime in your area finds inappropriate? Again, these things need to be specified. So then we get into the whole trust us bro part of this. So they're saying right out, our commitment to our customers have not changed. Adobe does not train Firefly Gen AI models on customer content. By the way, the license will allow them to. They're just saying they don't, and trust us bro. Also, there is no word in here. Just put in the word yet, because that applies just as well, to be honest. So Firefly generative AI models are trained on a data set of licensed content, such as Adobe stock and public domain content, where copyright has expired. Please read more there in their training data area. And Adobe will never assume ownership of a customer's work. So this is directly in response to the 4.2 section. So you're still going to own your IP. Adobe hosts content to enable customers to use our applications and services. Customers own their content, and Adobe does not assume any ownership of customers' work, which is true. But they do ask for a license, an overly broad license, which could be, defined down to, we need the license specifically to perform these tasks, list those tasks. That, I think, would be more amendable. But what they're asking for right now is, we're going to use your data potentially to train AI. We don't yet, trust us, bro. And we don't take ownership for it, but we want a perpetual license to it. So it's a matter, I think they're just massively overbroad. So this was their damage control. They posted about it on Twitter as well. And we can get now into how the community has reacted to this move. Goes down, broke it down. Basically, this is pretty much the same content as in the blogging, the blog that we just read. So we come down here. Your response to this makes me more likely to cancel and uninstall. This is not clear at all. You've made it worse. Then we got America is the land of fine print. Until you guys change that agreement, forget about many of your clients. DaVinci, Affinity, GIMP, Avid, they're all going to have a blast providing services to people who would have never switched if it wasn't for something like this. No need to use Adobe products. Explore the alternatives. What? And we get into, I'm not a lawyer, but it would appear that this gives you the right to sub-license content to others via Adobe stock, given that the selling stock content is an operational function of a service you provide. Yeah, bro, we all know what you're really doing. Canceling all Adobe subscriptions. This isn't even, we're sorry we got caught. This is what you're going to do about it, sucker. FYI, if you're looking for a Lightroom alternative that doesn't suck, turbo ass and doesn't steal your intellectual property, I'm making one. And then we got on and on and on. Pretty much, it's not good. I don't see anybody happy about it. And the key thing here again is promises that this one sums it up really well. Promises at the edge of the door. Mod responses to be trusted while not making any effort on building trust, just corporate rewarding while being caught red-handed. What can you trust is that corporate greed is a feature, not a bug. Data is the new gold, and giving away blue check marks. And giving away rights now and allowing redefinitions around property in the name of safety and future products is a mistake. They need to earn our trust. I don't see how. We don't have to trust them implicitly. Can I come in? I don't know. Can you? So this again goes back to my thing. Adobe hasn't really clarified anything. The answer to this, in all honesty, rewrite your terms of service. Make it explicit what you're going to use it for. Make it explicit that you will not use it for, say, training Gen AI. And until that is in there, we just have to assume the worst for you. Because Adobe, you can say, trust me, bro, as much as you want. Nobody trusts you. Yeah, of all the companies out there, you're one of the least trusted there is. So this doesn't seem to have fixed things that much. People seem to be just as upset as they were before the clarification. And I'm curious, what do you think? Has this changed your mind at all? Do you think this is all just a mistake, that we're blowing things out of proportion? Or do you think those terms of services need to go? Let me know. Comments down below. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.